Ladies and gentlemen, how are y'all doing today? Welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at 6 NFL trades that I'm pretty sure will happen in the 2020 NFL season. If I'm wrong, don't kill me. Just come back to the video and maybe tell me I'm wrong. Give me another view. I don't know. Either way, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're new and you haven't subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the post notifications. If you aren't new, you're a returning subscriber, make sure to hit that like button on the video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. The 2020 NFL season is shaping up to be one of the best ever. We have new stars like Patrick Mahomes trying to build up his legacy. We have some of the most unique talents of all time like Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley. We even have vets trying to go for one last Super Bowl run. All these players that I just listed have fairly optimal playing situations. In other words, they don't need to be traded. In today's video, I'll be explaining 6 trades that I think will happen in the 2020 NFL season. Now, as a disclaimer, I am not the NFL Oracle. I cannot predict the future. What I can do is give my audience certain trade scenarios that I think would benefit both teams involved. So that's what I'm gonna do. The first trade that I'm gonna talk about involves Yannick Ngakoue. Ngakoue was given the franchise tag in the offseason by the Jacksonville Jaguars, making the possibility of a new contract less and less likely. Ngakoue tweeted out, "Tired of the back and forth, Jags. Let's get this shit done." So obviously, there isn't any love lost there. I personally think the Baltimore Ravens would be a perfect trade destination for Ngakoue. The Ravens only had 37 total sacks in 2019, so adding a pretty good pass rusher like Ngakoue would seriously help them out. This would also be a reunion between Ngakoue and the absolutely massive, giant defensive lineman known as Calais Campbell. Now, the Ravens only had $10 million in cap space, so in order to sign Ngakoue, they probably have to clear some of that cap or potentially sign him to a backloaded long-term deal. I'd say the Ravens would have to give up a 2021 second-round pick, which does make this a pretty steep deal, but with the AFC being as competitive as it is, I think the Ravens need all the help they can get. The second trade that I'm going to talk about today involves Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen was the 10th pick in the 2018 NFL draft by the Arizona Cardinals. His first year as a Cardinal didn't go so well, resulting in a trade to the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately for Rosen, the Dolphins went out and drafted Tua Tagovailoa with the 5th overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. I think it's safe to say that Rosen won't be winning out the starting job in Miami, making him a pretty reasonable trade piece. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers could benefit immensely from trading for Josh Rosen. As we all know, Big Ben isn't going to be in Pittsburgh for many more years, and we've seen over the past couple seasons they really don't have any other quarterback options. Trading for Rosen, especially when his value is pretty low, would make a ton of sense. I feel like the Steelers wouldn't have to give up too much for Rosen, maybe a 4th or potentially even 5th round pick. With the Steelers having so much young talent on their team, solidifying the quarterback position over the next 2 to 3 years could seriously help them out. This third trade that I'm going to talk about involves Kenny Stills. Now, even though DeAndre Hopkins was traded in the offseason, the Texans are still pretty darn deep at the wide receiver position. Guys like Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Will Fuller, Kiki Kuti will all see plenty more targets. Plus, he's set to earn $7 million in 2020, which is quite unnecessary for, again, how many wide receivers the Texans currently have. I think a great trade partner for the Texans and Kenny Stills would probably be the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, you guys might be thinking, Mike, they have AJ Green. Why would they need another receiver? Trust me, I'll explain that more towards the end of the video. Now, because Stills' value isn't super high, I'd say all the Bengals would have to offer is probably like a 2021 5th round pick. Now, this next trade I'm going to talk about involves one of the 3 tight ends of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rob Gronkowski, OJ Howard, and Cameron Brate. These are all players that could start on any other NFL team. The only problem is there's not enough spots on the field. At most, the Bucs could run some 2 tight end sets, but 3 honestly just seems like a waste, especially because they have elite wide receiver talents like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. My proposition is for the Bucs to trade Cameron Brate to the Green Bay Packers for a 2021 4th round pick. I don't really need to explain why Brate to the Packers would be a great addition, especially because their current tight end number 1 is Mercedes Lewis. But giving Aaron Rodgers more targets is never ever a bad thing. I really don't think the Packers would need to offer much, which is why I personally suggested a 2021 4th round pick. They could probably get away with a 5th round pick if the Bucs are desperate enough, but either way, this gives value to a player the Bucs would never utilize and gives Aaron Rodgers yet another target for a Super Bowl run, aka a win-win. Now, these next 2 trade scenarios are A little wild, a little crazy, a little wacko, so bear with me. Odell Beckham Jr. to the San Francisco 49ers for a first or second round pick. Now, hear me out, okay? OBJ's trade value is about as low as it's ever been. Now, that doesn't mean he's lost talent or skill. Honestly, it just means he's been injured. If I'm the Browns, I'm waiting until midway through the season to trade OBJ. If he doesn't produce, nothing really changes. Still valued at a first, maybe second round pick. However, if he does produce, you might be able to get a first and potentially a third out of him. And for a team with as many holes as the Browns have, that could help a ton. Now again, I really don't need to explain why this would be a fantastic addition for the 49ers. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl last year with pretty much zero pass game. Now, whether that's Jimmy G's fault or not, that is up to you. But giving him another elite level target like OBJ, who would dominate in the short, mid, and deep game, might just give them the edge to win the NFC for the second year in a row. Now, this last and final trade is probably the trade I would like to see go through the most. AJ Green to the Eagles for a 2021 third round pick. Now, for years now, Carson Wentz has been playing with pretty subpar weapons on offense. Whether it's his run game or his pass game, he really hasn't had a super elite weapon in a while. You could argue that Zach Ertz has been his only consistent target for his entire career. Now, AJ Green was franchise tagged by the Bengals in the offseason, I'm guessing to help Joe Burrow in his rookie season. If I'm the Bengals, there really isn't a bad option here. You could keep AJ Green, giving Burrow an elite wide receiver option, or you could trade him, giving the organization a third round pick for a player you probably won't sign back. If you remember earlier in the video, I said the Bengals should trade for Kenny Stills. This would be assuming they got rid of AJ Green and got a third round pick out of it. I really can't imagine how nice of an addition this would be for the Eagles being in the NFC East. No hate, trust me, no hate. But that division is dog shit. Adding an elite wide receiver like AJ Green could really give the Eagles the edge to make yet another playoff run. Okay, so that is 6 trade scenarios that I could see happening in the 2020 NFL season. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, you're here before 10,000 subscribers, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. If you're not new, you're a returning subscriber, make sure to drop a like, boys. I am very, very excited for this channel. I don't know how often I'm gonna be uploading, but I wanna do it at least like twice a week. If I can do more, I'll do more. Obviously, when there's nothing for me to do before Madden 21, I'm gonna be uploading a lot more. But when Madden starts out, it's probably gonna be like twice, maybe 3 times a week. I don't know. But either way, hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. Subscribe if you are new. And guys, I will see you in my next upload. Peace.